go, Bryce. We're here in the Honda tent here, and you are one of the principal mechanics that works on the bike here at the track, out on the pit wall. We always see you buzzing around Neil's bike. So we just wanted to get a toolbox tour of what it is that you do at the office, your little office here that you got going.
Because take everywhere, yeah.
I mean, some of your tools are like my tools, but some of your tools aren't, and so anyway, you've got this whole thing laid out here. Tell us about it.
Well, probably the most used tool is our Zeus Tool. We take bodywork on and off quite a bit, so that's a very handy tool.
Now let's take for a second Zeus Tool. Those are the fasteners for the bodywork, right?
Right. They're only a quarter-turn release, so they're a quick release, and if you use a screwdriver or something and it slips, you can scratch your bodywork. So these are kind of blunt end and rounded, and so they fit the part really well.
Is that a custom tool you guys made?
No, you can buy them from pretty much all of the tool manufacturers.
All right. What else we got?
Well, we got an assortment of torque wrenches that we use. We have one for pretty much every application, front axle, rear axle, all the stuff that we're constantly taking loose. We have them preset and ready to go, so we just got to grab and go at the wall. It's all about speed. Everything at the wall is speed. We got these speed handles, one's for the rear axle, one's for the front axle. T-handles, very, very important. Got to have T-handles. We got a full assortment because, speed is the main thing. When Neil comes in and we got to get him in and out quickly, we got to be able to do our work fast, and all of these tools are kind of set up so we can work fast.
Now, as I look at this row of sockets right here, one of these things is not like the other, so that one is different.
Yes, some situations you need a 3/4 deep socket or a short socket, depending on how much room you have to get in there, and we try to have two of each. This one just happens to be different, but there is one spot where we use that's critical to get to it with no problems.
Like what?
Well, this one actually we use on the rear brake master, and there's just enough room in there for the socket to fit, so that's why we use that one.
And that's to dismount the master?
To torque the master into place, yeah.
All right, so you got a couple of drawers here.
Yeah, mostly we just try to keep our screwdrivers and stuff where they're accessible in the top drawer, and a lot of the extra wrenches and so on that we don't use that we need doubles for, we try to keep them in a spot. The ones on top for quick access, but these are just specialty, different ones that we don't use all the time, but we got to have them.
Okay. Now I noticed deep down in here you've got this set of
ball end Allens.
Ball end Allens, but if you need it, because otherwise you're using a T-handle or a socket most of the time.
Most of the time, yes, but if sometimes we run into where one guy needs it when both of them are working on stuff where you need the same one. So we have an assortment on the top, and then we just have an extra set as a backup, for the other mechanics to use.
Now, you have, I see there, everything from 10 to 11, 12s, 13s, 14s, but is everything on your Honda pretty much like all evens?
The only one that we don't have on the bike is a 13. We do have one application for a 13 wrench, but usually, you use pretty much the full range all the way up on a Honda, but we don't normally use the 19 to 17 very often, even though there are places on the bike where, but we don't take it apart. That certain thing, all the time. So
if you're busting into the 17, the 19 millimeter, then by golly, it's not a good
bike
day.
Got wadded, and we're building a new bike.
Okay, all right. So on down to drawer number 2.
Drawer number 2 is just for stuff like I said that we don't use all the time, but we need access to, scissors and stuff to cut Velcro and so on like that, just so we can cut shapes, and spare axles, tools for taking the engine in and out when we do a motor change, the large torque wrench for the rear axle, flashlight, just some of the stuff that you occasionally need, you got to have at the wall.
And even in broad daylight, you're trying to look into a dark engine compartment that's surrounded by bodywork that's got to have a bazillion stickers on it. You can't always see in them.
Exactly. So we have 2 different ones, a big one and a small one, just because, like I said, if both people are looking, we need 2 flashlights. So.
Now this is a roll-around cart. It's not uber fancy smancy. It's a nice standard cart. You roll it on down to the pit wall and you roll it back here to work on the bike in both places.
Yes.
Now next to that one we have something, the mothership. Yes, the mother Lode. What's different about that one?
Well, that one carries a lot of stuff. It carries our bike stands for when we are changing the motor or steering head. Yeah. Yeah. We have our stands that we use when we When we change the front end, this bolts right to the engine, so we can pull the steering crown off, and the bike will be supported without the front stand underneath it, because you have to take it out. But that and rags and cleaning bins and hardware and just all the big stuff, and a lot of the fabrication tools we keep in the drawers. Just stuff that we'll need, you know, if we have to build something from scratch, we can do it.
Yeah, this is more of a standard kind of set of tools that you would have, because if you're really tearing into the bike and going deep into it, you got to have a full complement of what you would normally think a mechanic has.
Exactly, and sometimes, you know, if we have a spare chassis in the truck or something and we're down at the wall and our roller box is down at the wall and we carry headsets and we have to call somebody and say, hey, go take this part off the bike, we do have a set of tools back here that somebody can work out of.
Well, thank you very much. This has been a great look into the world that you guys have. In closing, it seems to me that you guys, from what I see, live and die by the T-handled wrench.
Yeah, that's a very, very important tool, just mostly for speed, because we can spin bolts in and out fast and torque them down. So, like I said, that's probably the most handy set of tools that we have is our T-handles.
Great, thanks for chatting.
Sure.